10th, 11th, 12th of April 2025, barely about a month ago. Remember the violence that unfolded in Murshidabad district in Bengal, specifically as the Hindus said that they were targeted, their houses were burned down. All of this was in protest with regard to the Waqf Amendment Bill that was set to be passed by the Parliament. The protest landed with the Hindu community, specifically in Murshidabad, that had to flee for their safety. Ethnic cleansing was also the name that was coming in from that. Amid all of this, shocking details have emerged, and we're not putting out conjecture. A fact-finding committee that was constituted by the Calcutta High Court has now submitted their report on the communal violence that erupted. And the question mark coming on literally on these doorstep here. I want to take you through immediately the findings that India Today has exclusively accessed with regard to the report that has been submitted to the Calcutta High Court. Now, these are Murshidabad truth files and how. I want to tell you what the panel report. This is, remember, the three-member panel, and the members were from the National Human Rights Commission, from the Legal Services Authority, from Judicial Services, so important, significant positions with experience. Finding number one, and you'll be shocked, that a TMC councillor led miscreants to the victims into areas that were sensitive. A councillor, local councillor. Information also suggests that he was a former chairperson of the Dhuliyar municipality by the name that has been mentioned. One TMC MLA, unnamed here, a member of Legislative Assembly, ladies and gentlemen, elected MLA, went to the spot, realized what the situation was, but did not act. He did not even return to the location. He's an MLA. He clearly had contacts and resources. Lives could have been saved. And now, third point, the question mark on the Bengal police. Where was the police? Why were reinforcements not sent right away, realizing that the situation is worsening? Remember, not just civilians, not just the Hindu community members, several police personnel, few and far in number, also received serious injuries. The inactivity and absence of the police during the incidents have been mentioned in that report submitted to the Calcutta High Court. And then very categorically mentioning, take a look at this, that many temples and houses were also destroyed by the miscreants. Was this a targeted attack? An organized violence? Why couldn't it be stopped in time? Finding number 5, that the cops forced victims, and this is all on record, that the cops forced some of the victims to return to the riot zone. Now, of course, remember, on agenda was to show that all is well. The situation has become normal again. They are heading back, but heading back to their broken homes, to a place of fear. This is very important. These are very shocking, important details that are coming in, submitted to the Calcutta High Court. How will this be taken ahead? What will the TMC government say about it? And when I talk about the TMC councillor, the name Mehboob Alam has come forth. The TMC MLA, hand in glove with the councillor. The MLA is still unnamed, so we'll try and get clarity on that. Inactivity and absence of the police during the incidents. Temples were destroyed. Councillor came with miscreants. What was happening in Bengal? An anti-Waqf protest, viewer, landed into targeted attacks at the Hindus. Why? What happened? There were people, especially, remember, women with little children, and these were all ground reports India Today had brought to you, had to flee, cross the Ganga with literally bare minimum to be able to reach to safety. Some of the cops forced victims to return to the riot zone. TMC MLA saw the vandalism, did not act. All of this is part of the panel report. I'm reiterating for you to help you understand of how possibly the violence could have been stopped right away. Was there callousness on parts of different authorities, from politicians to the cops? Joining me now, Indrajit Kundu, who's accessed some of those details, our editor from Kolkata. Indrajit, I want to bring in here about what are the facts that have surfaced right now. What is it that you can confirm? Talking about the councillor Mehboob Alam, whose name has been mentioned, the unnamed MLA. Has the police said anything? Because a lot of blame is being pinned on them too. Go ahead.
Well, you know, as we have been reporting, this is a report that has been submitted before a division bench of the Calcutta High Court. This was a fact-finding team, and this team was set up by the High Court itself. And it had members of the National Human Rights Commission, the West Bengal Legal Aid Services, and WBJS. This three-member committee has finally submitted its report before the Calcutta High Court last week, and some of the facts stated in that report are damning, nonetheless, and it's very embarrassing for the West Bengal government. That's the reason why the opposition is up in arms against the Mamata Banerjee government, because it clearly states that there was police inaction, that there were distress calls that were received by the police, but there was no action that took place. There were complicity of the local administration, the local Trinamool Congress leadership, with one councillor being named. There is the reference of an MLA whose name has, of course, not been mentioned in that report. And these are all, testimonies of the victims, because the team went to Murshidabad and spoke to the victims, because it all began with a case where the petitioner had challenged the West Bengal government's proposal to give compensation and rehabilitation to the victims of Murshidabad violence, because the compensation was uniform for everybody. The petition says that because there are different magnitude and different scales of vandalism, some houses have been completely destroyed. How is it that the West Bengal government is trying to give a uniform package and a uniform compensation to each and everybody? Somebody who may have died, somebody who may have lost his business and house, everybody can't be given the same compensation package. And in order to assess the damages on the ground, the High Court then formed this three-member committee, and this three-member committee went on ground, spoke to the victims, and then whatever they found out, they have placed it before the High Court as a report. And some of the findings, of course, are damning. It clearly says that on Friday, after 2:30, when the Waqf protest had gotten over, then miscreants started attacking some of these areas. It clearly says that despite the MLA being present there, he saw there was vandalism, but he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything to stop it. It says that miscreants were led by, the local councillor, the former councillor, Mehboob Alam. His name has been featured there. It says that there were Hindu religious places that were attacked. So these are things that we have seen by ourselves when we were reporting out of Murshidabad, and something which only has now been corroborated by this report which has been placed before the Calcutta High Court.
Indrajit, you make a very good point. Remember, India Today and the team led by Indrajit had already been reporting from Malda, Murshidabad and the shelter camps where at least 400 people had come in. And at this juncture, remember, primarily young women who just fled with their little children, bare minimum, no luggage, because their houses were being targeted. And I still remember how so many of these women were crying. They didn't know how to even express the shock. And now the details are only corroborating those ground reports. But will that lead to any accountability? Indrajit, I request you to please stay on. Shreya Chatterjee also joins me on this. Shreya, you also reported from Bengal, in fact, from the border as well of India-Bangladesh, because there was this whole argument. If these were outsiders, have they been brought in from somewhere? But the fact is, when you see the kind of report findings, you realize that the administration could have stopped this. Lives could have been saved, and yet a question mark. Was there callousness? Look away. It's an anti-Waqf protest. Let it happen. So what if a few are being targeted?
Well, Pooja, there is no denial of the fact that there is a level of complicity, if not at the level of the top government, but at least in the level of the local government involved in Murshidabad, in Dhulian, Shamsherganj area. Now, why this committee report had to come before to again put the light back on Murshidabad, the question there lies, because yes, there has been action on the part of the West Bengal government. There have been a spree of administrative transfers. We have seen multiple local police officials who have been transferred out of their position after the riots. Yes, compensation has been given. Why then is a question still lying against the West Bengal government? Because look over here, you're not really putting the face out there of those responsible for the riots. Your own people had to flee their homes, had to take shelter elsewhere, and here's a government who's somewhere down the line not making it entirely clear or giving a name to who were these people that orchestrated the violence, and still saying that people came from outside, which is really very contrary to what this committee report is saying, and also some of our own findings when we were there on Murshidabad on ground.
You know, we can only hope, now that we've accessed these details, I'm sure the state government has access to it too, that at least they'll hold the ones accountable. I'm talking about 113 houses badly affected. I'm also talking about Hargovind Das, a 74-year-old man, his son Charan Das, 40-year-old man, were dragged out of their house, killed with axe at a time when it was ensured that they died. They had nothing to do with the Waqf Amendment Bill. Look at and remember the violence that had happened. This is on your screen to remind you, to jog your memory. Don't forget Murshidabad so easily. Now, what are the names that are coming in with this regard? According to the report submitted, one name has surfaced, and that name is of Mehboob Alam, a TMC neta that, according to the report findings, that he was seen with miscreants, allegedly directed attacks, is what the name has come. Now, is he the local councillor that is being mentioned? Is he the one, according to our sources, a former chairperson of Dhulia municipality? Then comes in an unnamed Trinamool Congress MLA, an elected representative, that he went on the location, saw vandalism, chose not to return. Who is this MLA and why was he not named in the report? Then the Bengal police. And even at a juncture when police personnel were targeted and how they've been accused of being inactive and absent. Clearly, at a juncture when there's no police, the miscreants will run riot. And remember, this is not just about targeted attacks. If it was an anti-Waqf Amendment Bill protest, why was a mall looted? Why were pharmacies attacked? What was on agenda here in the Murshidabad district? And we have now a confirmation from Mehboob Alam, whose name has surfaced. What is he saying in his defense? Let's listen in.
उस दिन जो घटना हुआ वो कुछ दंगाबाज का काम है। हम इससे पहले तो बोला दंगाबाज का कोई धर्म नहीं है, वो दंगा ही करेंगे। हम लोग मुकाबला करने की कोशिश किए, लेकिन बहुत सारा छोटा बड़ा बहुत आदमी आया था, लेकिन हम लोग को अटैक किया। उस दिन हम लोग एक घर में घुस गए। वो इलाका का नाम है नदबपड़ा, जो से नदब का घर में, और दो हिंदू फैमिली को लेके घुसाया घर। हम कहते हैं इस टाइम पॉलिटिक्स करने का टाइम नहीं है, आदमी को बचाने का काम है। इस टाइम आदमी को बचाइए, पॉलिटिक्स करने का टाइम बहुत मिलेगा, आदमी बचा रहे तो।
So you heard from the man who has been mentioned, or appears to have been the man who's mentioned in that report. Will accountability be set for him? Indrajit Kundu will put this in perspective. Indrajit, my problem with such comments is don't do politics, mobsters have no religion. I understand the academic part of it, but the fact is there were a group of mobsters who were busy targeting innocent people. What is being done about it? What are you picking up from the government sources about how do you think this report could be taken ahead?
Well, look, Pooja, one, of course, is these eyewitness accounts or the victims' accounts which has made its way into this report. The other, of course, would be the forensic evidence and the investigation that the police and other agencies are carrying out. And they will have to provide evidence before the court to prove culpability of all these names that are now propping up. Mehboob Alam, if at all he was involved, the name has propped up in one of the reports which has mostly eyewitness accounts. But that may not suffice. In order to prove his culpability, the agencies will have to give foolproof evidence before the court to show that Mehboob Alam was actually the one who actually instigated this riot. We've also reported earlier, Pooja, and Shreya would also be able to, corroborate that.
Yes.
There are names of other Trinamool Congress leaders with visual evidence we have shown on India Today, how they had given, instigated, they had given some speech which almost, was a hate speech, and that instigated more violence in that area.
Yes.
Did those hate speeches lead to such kind of violence during walk-off protests? These are something which are in the purview of the investigation which is underway right now. And also the Calcutta High Court is monitoring the entire thing. So we'll have to wait and watch, because in July, this report will be opened by the Calcutta High Court next time when the hearing takes place. And we'll have to see how the Calcutta High Court, sees this entire report.
Indrajit, thank you for getting even these startling initial details that you have from the report submitted to the Calcutta High Court. My concern remains with regard to the families that were affected, who had to flee for their life. Those who could not survive, a wife watching her husband and son be killed in a brutal manner. Who do they have? Why are we forgetting them so easily? Will the government ensure they get justice? These were poor families in Murshidabad district. An anti-Waqf bill protest turns into targeted violence on them. What did they do? with regard to the war. However,
अगर पहलगाम में चुन चुन कर हिंदुओं को मारा गया तो मुर्शिदाबाद में
about how political violence has started on this.
चुन चुन कर पहलगाम में चुन चुन कर हिंदुओं को मारा गया तो मुर्शिदाबाद में चुन चुन कर हिंदुओं के घर, मकान और लोगों को मारने का प्रयास किया गया। मुझे लगता है कि अब इसके बाद पश्चिम बंगाल सरकार के पास किसी प्रकार का मुंह नहीं रह गया है यह कहने का कि वहां पर हिंसा नहीं हुई थी।
মুর্শিদাবাদে ঘটনার পর মাননীয় মুখ্যমন্ত্রী এবং পুলিশ প্রশাসন সমস্ত দায়িত্ব পালন করেছে। এর পাশাপাশি একটা লার্জার কনস্পিরেসির একটা অ্যাসপেক্ট রয়েছে। কি করে বাইরের লোকেরা ঢুকলো, সীমান্তের ওপাশ থেকেও ঢুকতে পারে, এপাশ থেকে কিভাবে বাইরের লোকেরা ঢুকে পড়লো তার তদন্ত চলছে, তার সমস্ত ইঙ্গিত পাওয়া যাচ্ছে। যখন দেশ এক হয়ে সন্ত্রাসের বিরুদ্ধে লড়ছে তখন এই বিজেপি নেতারা মুর্শিদাবাদ নিয়ে যে অপপ্রচার করছেন, যে বিভেদকামী রাজনীতি করছেন, এটা কিন্তু সম্পূর্ণভাবে একটা চক্রান্তের।
এবং মমতা বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায় এই দাঙ্গাকারীদেরকে বাঁচানোর জন্য চেষ্টা করেছেন, মিথ্যে কথা বলেছেন, রাজ্যের মানুষকে বিভ্রান্ত করেছেন। আজকে আমি মাননীয় মুখ্যমন্ত্রী মমতা বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায়ের কাছে দাবি করছি রাজ্যের মানুষকে মিথ্যে কথা বলার জন্য ক্ষমা চান। রাজ্যের মানুষের কাছে উচিত, পশ্চিমবঙ্গবাসীর কাছে হাত জোর করে তার ক্ষমা চাওয়া উচিত যে আমি মিথ্যে কথা বলেছিলাম সেই সময়। মমতা বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায় এটা যেন স্বীকার করেন, কারণ মুখ্যমন্ত্রী হয়ে তিনি মিথ্যে কথা বলছেন। এটা আমাদের জন্য অত্যন্ত লজ্জার, পশ্চিমবঙ্গবাসী হিসেবে লজ্জার যে একজন মুখ্যমন্ত্রী, পশ্চিমবঙ্গের মুখ্যমন্ত্রী, তিনি মিথ্যে কথা বলছেন বাংলার মানুষকে বোকা বানানোর জন্য।
The findings of the report submitted to the Calcutta High Court are contrary to what Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee had said a few weeks ago. She had blamed simply the outsiders of inciting and indulging in the violence, that they cannot be Bengalis, that they cannot be Murshidabad residents. Here's what she had said.
কারা করিয়েছেন, প্ল্যান করে, কি করে করিয়েছেন, কিভাবে করিয়েছেন, আমি এই কটা দিন ধরে অনেক কষ্ট করেছি, রেকর্ডও করেছি। কারা করেছে, কিভাবে প্ল্যান করে করেছে। আমি নিজে হিন্দু নই, আমি নিজেও তো হিন্দু পরিবারের মেম্বার, তো আমি কেন হিন্দু মুসলমান করব? কিন্তু আমি যখন চেয়ারে থাকি বা কোনো রাজনীতি করি বা কোনো সংগঠনে থাকি, আমার কাছে হিন্দু, মুসলমান, শিখ, খ্রিস্টান, জৈন, ঈসাই, পারসিক সবাই সমান।
The Bengal administration could not stop that violence in the month of April in Murshidabad specifically and also in Malda. At least can they ensure that justice is provided to the families that were affected. And we'll be tracking that, especially for the victims on the ground. Remember, multiple investigations are happening when it comes to Pakistan and Spygate. This is a concern, remember, because influencers have a massive following. And in turn for privileges, VVIP access, some of them possibly are ready to push a pro-Pakistan agenda. So what is Indian government doing meanwhile? Multi-party delegations have started to leave for at least 30 countries in the backdrop of Operation Sindoor to expose Pakistan's link. A team led by JDU MP Sanjay Jha is the first to leave. So I want to tell you, you should know which delegation is leaving to where. The first delegation heads to Indonesia, Malaysia, the Republic of Korea and other countries as well. All right, that's Group 2 on your screens right now. That's also heading, we are told, to UK, France, Germany, Italy, Denmark. So different European nations, different choices that have been made as well. Look at this specific one. This is the JDU MP Sanjay Jha who has led it. Indonesia, Korea, like I mentioned, Japan, these are some of the countries that have been chosen. And look at the names on your screens as well. These are opposition MPs, ruling party MPs, senior faces as well. Shrikant Shinde, the son of Eknath Shinde from Shiv Sena, will be leading a team to Liberia, Democratic Republic of Congo, Sierra Leone and more. Amid all of this, remember, it is important that there are at least 7 delegations. The 5th delegation, led by Shashi Tharoor, one of the first opposition MPs to stand directly in support, not just of India, of course, but of Modi government as well, and say that they have taken the right step. They've been heading, they've decided to go to the United States of America, one of the most crucial countries. Shashi Tharoor will be leading that team. Also, we are told Panama, Brazil, Colombia, and other countries. That's group number 5. Let's take a look. Group number 6, very interesting. Kanemori. as an opposition MP, is leading this team on your screens right now, and they will be heading to Spain, Greece, Slovenia, Latvia and Russia. Russia, of course, has been an ally, but all of this is for a global outreach. All right, let's take a look at Supriya Sule. That's going to lead the team. Again, Rajiv Pratap Rudy, Vikramjit Singh Sahani, others as well. They'll be heading to Egypt, Qatar, Ethiopia, South Africa. 7 teams. This is a joint effort, clearly, by the government, by the opposition MPs, because this isn't about a party or a government. This is about India, and to ensure to expose Pakistan and to show that how they've been sponsoring terror. And there's a reason that Operation Sindoor happened. What about other leaders? What do they have to say? Listen in now to India Today's Foreign Affairs editor Geeta Mohan in conversation with the AIMIM chief and Hyderabad MP Asaduddin Owaisi. He's also part of the Centre All-Party Delegation on Operation Sindoor, where other leaders have been heading to, and specifically about how can all MPs get together as Indians to expose Pakistan.
What made you decide on being part of this all-party delegation that is going to go to world capitals? You're going to a few very critical countries for India.
Well, you see, the Minister for the Minority Affairs and Parliamentary Affairs had spoken to me and told me that the government of India is going to send various delegations to different parts of the world, and he wanted me to be part of this delegation, so I accepted it. The reason I have accepted it is that we are going to present a strong case against our neighbor who has indulged in terrorism for years and years. And this has got nothing to do with the political differences which we have and will continue to have. But this is a matter of an external threat to our country. And especially in the light of what happened, the gruesome massacre in Pahalgam, and then the subsequent developments wherein our country had targeted 9 terrorist establishments. So that was the only reason, to put forward a strong case against Pakistan and the terrorist organizations which are patronized, which are supported by Pakistan, so that the world knows not only about Pahalgam, but there are numerous incidents of terrorism perpetrated by terrorist organizations from Pakistan in India. And also, we have to bring to the notice of the world that the recent IMF loan sanction, despite IMF putting conditions to it, there is a great chance of that money being misused by the Pakistani government, and that can be used against India in promoting terrorism.
Owaisi sir, also the projection, I see the composition of the delegation. It really shows that a lot of effort was made deliberately so to ensure that there is a projection of unity and diversity at a time when Pakistan is also trying to do the same, send delegations to various countries, but it will be more homogeneous rather than as diverse as India's delegation looks.
I think the less we talk about Pakistan is better. I don't want India to be hyphenated with Pakistan. Since 1947, Pakistan has been troubling India, trying to destabilize India. They have promoted various terrorist organizations. And the fact of the matter is that the Indian Constitution celebrates pluralism and diversity. The Indian Constitution clearly says that India as a nation, as a country, has no religion. We celebrate all religion, whereas the neighboring country has, is a failed state. It was formed on a basis of a religion, but they have used that religion to promote terrorist activities. They have not understood the religion of Islam properly. And that is why you see that various terrorist organizations at one point of time, Pakistan was headquarters of all the various terrorist organizations which were troubling various countries in the world. So Pakistan can do whatever they want, but there is no equivalence with what India is and what India will do in the future. And the countries which all the honorable MPs will be going, they also know for a fact that India is on a very, very higher pedestal than this neighboring country. Our economy is 7-8 times more stronger than the neighboring country. And a country which has taken IMF loan 28 times, the world understands what Pakistan has been doing with their own country, with their own economy. And I think so it is high time that our government should ensure that Pakistan is once again put back into FATF grey list. That will be one of the best way of ensuring that the money is not given to these terrorists and terrorism is not promoted in India.
And it begins. The first group of the Member of Parliament delegation is leaving. The delegation will be visiting 5 nations. Indonesia, Malaysia, Japan is the start. Delegation will hold talks in South Korea and Singapore. So we are looking at the representatives in those countries, think tanks, experts, anyone who can take it ahead and also understand India's perspective. This is the big global diplomatic outreach. This is only the first delegation. Supriya Sule has spoken on it. Let's listen in.
हमारी लड़ाई किसी के खिलाफ नहीं है, हमारी लड़ाई सिर्फ आतंकवाद के खिलाफ है। तो ये पूरा जो मिशन है वो आतंकवादियों के खिलाफ है, आतंकवाद के खिलाफ है और पूरी ताकत से हम सब बहुत सारे देशों में जा रहे हैं। हमारा जो ग्रुप है वो 4 देशों में जाएगा और बड़ी विनम्रता से जो देश जो वास्तव है भारत का वो हम दुनिया के सामने बताएंगे। उनसे जो फैक्ट है देश में क्या हुआ, जिस तरह से हमारी बहनों पे हल्ला किया गया, वहां हमारी बहनों जिस तरह से बेचारी बच के आई है, जिस तरह से हत्याएं हुई है, आतंकवाद हल्ला भारत पे हुआ है, उसके खिलाफ जो कुछ हुआ वो वास्तव हम दुनिया को बताने जा रहे हैं।
Another delegation that's going to be led by Kanimuri of the Dravida Munnetra Karagam. And what is DMK's message of unity against Pakistan terror? Even though DMK, BJP, remember, have sharp ideological political differences, but here Kanimuri says the opposition is united for India's security and we will ensure that the world gets to know the truth about Pakistan. A very important statement. Listen in to this exclusive conversation that Amit Bhardwaj has had with Kanimuri.
I'm being joined by DMK MP K. Kanimuri. Ma'am, you will be leading one of the very important delegations that is all set to visit multiple countries, including Russia. Now, what's the roadmap to expose Pakistan in front of the international community? Because they have also tried to bring forward a lot of false narrative in the past few days, especially in the wake of the ceasefire post-Operation Sindoor.
I think sending these delegations to different countries and to meet people there and explain about what has happened, what is the stand of India, and meeting people in person and reaching out. I think it is one of the ways that the government of India has decided to go and represent itself and explain what has really happened and make sure that the world comes to know the truth.
What's been the brief from the Minister of External Affairs in this particular regard? Because again, the countries that you're visiting includes Russia, a very long old partner for India. So is there a specific brief which is in place?
No, there is the only brief we've got is what everybody knows. And I don't think we are saying something to the world and saying something different in closed door meetings. I think it's all the same. Right. Whatever has been told to the world is what we've been briefed about also, and that is what we are expected to go and say.
Right. One more question, ma'am. We have seen through the day that first there was Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge saying that India's response has been a chut-put war, a small war, and then Mr. Jairam Ramesh saying that this particular delegation exercise is nothing but a PR exercise, an attempt to distract people. That's BJP's tool. BJP saying that India alliance partners are acting like Pakistan Popular Front.
See, I am not here to get into, explaining different party stands. I think beyond all that, when it comes to the country, we stand as one. And I don't think there's any party which has said that they will not send a representative to be part of this delegation. So that itself means that when it comes to the security of this country, when it comes to the sovereignty of this country, we all stand together.
So daily political bickering aside, at least when it comes to India, there is a unity to put forth a message about why it is important to strike back, hit back at Pakistan for its sponsored terror of decades now. Piyush Mishra is joining me live from Delhi. Piyush, tell me about the first delegation that's left already. What is the plan of the other delegations, and all of them, how are they planning to stay united at a juncture when there is still a lot of differences when it comes to charging at the BJP? How are they ensuring that one message goes out to the world?
Well, Pooja, one thing which we have observed is that the members who are part of this delegation, they are speaking one voice. Like yesterday, we heard from Salman Khurshid, who said that, okay, we have a lot of domestic issues, we can discuss on that. But as far as fighting terrorism is concerned and putting forth a country's view on global platform is concerned, we have one voice. And that's what the members of delegation are seen also heard from different political parties. We just heard Kanimori, in fact, even she was saying the same thing. But there are political parties like Congress Party and a few leaders from Samajwadi Party who are, casting aspersions on this intention of government of sending the delegation to various countries. But apart from that, the members are speaking one voice. I remember that today 2 delegations are leaving. Today in the morning, we saw from 11:40 a.m. flight delegation headed by JDU MP Sanjay Kumar Jha has already left for Japan. At around 9 p.m. tonight, what we are told is that the delegation which will be headed by Shiv Sena MP Shrikant Shinde, that will leave at 9 p.m. flight for UAE. And tomorrow in the morning, what we are learning is that the delegation which is being headed by DMK MP Kanimori, that will be leaving. So 3 delegations will leave in 2 days. And then sources are also telling us, Pooja, that Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri is going to brief the remaining 4 delegations later in the week. And after that, we can expect the remaining delegations also to leave for different parts of the country or of the world. One message is clear, that we have to tell the entire globe that Pakistan has been sponsoring terrorism. And now India has taken a decisive step by conducting Operation Sindoor. And this has also shown our capability that we will not let terror go.
So from TMC to CPI to BJP to Congress to other parties, all of them at least smiling for this one moment as they head together into different countries and meet their elected representatives or think tanks to be able to reach out and tell them and inform them about what Pakistan has truly been doing, not just with regard to Pahalgam, but other incidents as well, and why India this time decided to hit back. We'll be tracking that and more. Now remember, amid all of this, while there are Congress members of parliament as well in these delegations, Congress General Secretary Jairam Ramesh, a senior leader, has sparked a storm. He's called this diplomatic outreach as a PR exercise. He said that the BJP is indulging in a weapon of mass distraction. Of course, picking it up from the weapons of mass destruction. The BJP launched an attack in turn, saying it is the Congress party that is giving out statements, politicizing an issue when they should be standing united with the country. Amid all of this, after Shashi Tharoor, Salman Khurshid has taken a view, possibly in divergence to what the Congress party has been saying, that the hostilities came to an end not because of a third party, but because of the DGMO level talks. Let's listen in to what our netas are saying.
आज भी पहलगाम के आतंकवादी को पकड़ा नहीं गया है, आज भी वो लापता है, यहाँ वहाँ चल घूम रहे हैं, हमारे सांसद भी घूम रहे हैं, और पहलगाम के आतंकवादी जो आतंकवादी सीधे तरीके से वो शामिल थे, पहलगाम के टेररिस्ट, वो कहाँ हैं? वो गिरफ्तार तो नहीं हुए, मारे तो नहीं गए हैं। ये तो पीआर एक्सरसाइज है, ध्यान हटाने के लिए, ध्यान भटकाने के लिए। इसमें तो मास्टर हैं हमारे प्रधानमंत्री।
जो इन्होंने कहा कि ये ध्यान बांटने के लिए कि जा रहे हैं बाहर, ये भारत के सभी सांसदों का अपमान तो है ही। मगर मैं जयराम रमेश जी से पूछना चाहता हूं, आपके नेता तो ध्यान लगाने के लिए जाते थे, आपके नेता या तो ध्यान लगाने को विदेश जाते थे या देश को बांटने के लिए विदेश जाते थे। आपके नेता ने जितनी बार विदेश गए हैं, देश को बांटने वाली कोई ना कोई बात कह के आए हैं। पहली बार सभी दलों के लोग एक साथ मिलकर भारत की एकजुटता का प्रदर्शन कर रहे हैं। और जहां तक हमारी नीति है, हमारी नीति भारतीय जनता पार्टी की बहुत स्पष्ट है कि इस ढंग के मौकों के ऊपर दलगत भावना से ऊपर उठकर अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मंच पर भारत की एकजुटता दिखानी है, चाहे हम विपक्ष में हो या सत्ता पक्ष में।
ट्रम्प साहब के हस्तक्षेप को लेके आपने
कोई हस्तक्षेप, किसी किस्म का हस्तक्षेप कहीं नहीं था, कहीं मध्यस्थता नहीं थी। लेकिन जब विश्व में ऐसी चीज होती है तो अलग अलग लोग प्रयास करते हैं कि कुछ संदेश दें, कुछ कहें, कुछ पहुंचाएं। लेकिन जो कुछ भी हुआ है वो दोनों देशों के बीच में ही हुआ है। जब हमने जब जो एस्केलेट हुआ था मामला तो हमारे बीच का था, जब खत्म हुआ, समाप्त हुआ तो हमारे बीच का समाप्त हुआ। पाकिस्तान डीजीएमओ की ओर से पहल हुई, उन्होंने ये कहा कि इसको हम समाप्त करें। हमने कहा कि आप समाप्त करने को तैयार हैं तो कर दीजिए, 5 बजे समाप्त हो जाएगा।
My colleague Maushmi Singh is tracking all the latest on that. Maushmi, what is the strategy? At one hand, they are sending their representatives with the multi-party delegation. On the other, they are still targeting the BJP. What are you picking up about what really is the plan of action for the Congress party?
Clearly, Pooja, with the government mooting for an all-party delegation has caught the Congress in a bind somewhere where the domestic politics calls for asking tough questions from the government. But internationally, or if an all-party delegation goes, then there is a commitment and responsibility to speak in one voice. In fact, that is what clearly Salman Khurshid was elaborating. But one can't but help draw the contrast between the two leaders, Jairam Ramesh versus Salman Khurshid, or Pawan Khera versus what Shashi Tharoor is saying. And that thereby, there is a sense in the Congress party that with this all-party delegation, the government wants to dilute, the tough stance that the opposition has taken on the home turf.
Right, very interesting. So we'll see how this goes. Remember, the delegations have just started to leave. How will the Congress party continue to keep this strategy in the days to come? Maushmi, thank you very much for now, because already there's a poster war. What is happening is the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Grand Old Party Congress have released one after another memes, posters. Look on your screen carefully. This is BJP's IT cell chief Amit Malviya. One linking Rahul Gandhi with Pakistan Army Chief, now Field Marshal Asim Munir. That both of them are together, basically, that Rahul Gandhi is speaking Pakistan's language. Then there is Bihar Congress linking Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Nawaz Sharif. Then there is another image. This is the Congress. Now, the Congress, this is this morning latest, that Prime Minister Modi is being schooled by the stronger one, former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, is what the Congress has attempted to say. So this is what is happening. Multiple memes and poster wars. Basically, the online world is currently flooded with these memes and posters that are coming in. In turn, of course, remember that it reflects also on the political bickering that we are witnessing in the aftermath of Pahalgam massacre and Operation Sindoor. Big news coming in. Islamabad will extend closure of the airspace for Indian aircrafts by another month. I'm quoting from Pakistan news reports. Deciding to extend the closure of their airspace for Indian aircrafts by another 1 month. Pakistan, remember, had banned their airspace for India last month itself after New Delhi had taken steps in the wake of the Pahalgam massacre on 22nd April. The ban at that point was imposed till about 23rd May. This was under Civil Aviation Organization rules that can restrict airspace if required, but it cannot be imposed for more than a month at a time. It's part of the regulations, but Pakistan appears to have decided to extend it for another month. Amid all of this, interesting, isn't it? Pakistan has phaser drubbing. Their terror targets have been hit. Their military targets and air bases were hit by Indian strikes. They could not, thankfully, harm the Indian civilians in cities, though. They were, of course, able to do that with our LOC areas, especially in Poonch. But they could not hit at our strategic targets at our air and army bases. And therefore, in turn, for that drubbing, Pakistan's army chief has got a promotion. General Asim Munir has now been awarded the 5-star rank of Field Marshal. Remember, this is despite the fact that even before the Pahalgam massacre, the same man highlighted differences between Hindus and Muslims, how Muslims are more superior. There's a reason Pakistan was established, justifying Jinnah's two-nation theory. All of that, of course, that was just a part of the kind of ideology that he's followed despite being the military chief. And now he gets a promotion. Nobody knows why. Here's a report.
Precision strikes on 9 terror bases in Pakistan, Punjab and POK. Lashkar and Jaish-e-Mohammed headquarters demolished. 13 Pakistani air bases hit. Weapons supplied by Turkey and China. Pakistan was brought to its knees by India's Operation Sindoor. But despite the Pakistan military's epic failure, it is Army Chief General Asim Munir has got a big promotion. Munir is now Field Marshal, the highest military rank in Pakistan. Munir is only the second Army General after Ayub Khan to be awarded the 5-star rank of Field Marshal. The proposal to promote the Pakistan Army Chief was allegedly approved by Pakistan's cabinet led by Shehbaz Sharif. Was it to stall a coup against Sharif himself? It's anybody's guess. It is no coincidence that Munir was the head of the notorious Pakistani spy agency, the ISI, when it orchestrated the Pulwama terror attack that saw the deaths of 40 CRPF personnel in February 2019. 6 years on, Munir is being called the mastermind of the Pahalgam massacre in which 26 Indian civilians were killed. His inflammatory and communal speech is considered the trigger for the Pahalgam attack, where Hindu men were signalled out and shot dead.
बच्चों को जो है आपने जरूर सुनानी है ताकि वो पाकिस्तान की कहानी ना भूलें. Well, our forefathers, they thought that we are different from the Hindus in every possible aspect of life. Our religion is different, our customs are different, our traditions are different, our thoughts are different, our ambitions are different. That was the foundation of the two-nation theory that was laid there. That we are two nations, we are not one nation. So because of that, our forefathers, they struggled, mounted that incessant struggle to create this country.
In the same speech delivered 5 days before the Pahalgam attack, Munir called Kashmir Pakistan's jugular vein.
Government's stance on Kashmir is absolutely clear. It was our jugular vein, it is our jugular vein. We will not forget it, and we will not leave our Kashmiri brethren in their heroic struggle, what they are waging against the Indian occupation.
Called the Jihadi General, Asim Munir studied at a madrasa before joining the army. He's also a Hafiz-e-Quran, a Muslim who has memorized the Islamic holy book by heart. Bureau Report, India Today.
On that note, I'm wrapping up this bulletin. Thank you so much for watching 5 Live.